Hello everyone. I hope you guys are doing all right. I'm feeling great. It is 12th of June and we just had CPI yesterday. And by the way, for those of you who are in the premium Telegram channel, you guys know how well the analysis was completed with the help of the news yesterday. We managed to see, market reaction that we were actually expecting for a long time. And we already said before CPI that we're most likely going to see something like this, and then that's exactly what happened. So, like I said in the analysis about 2 hours ago that I sent in the premium Telegram channel, we're most likely going to be looking at the same market direction at least until Wednesday next week, when again we have high impact news. But that means for a full week, we know in which direction to trade, what trades to take in order to have high probability setups. And this is obviously exactly what I'm going to share today as well. So obviously, just like every time, if you guys just give me a couple of minutes, first of all, to wait for more people to join, and then also for me to send the link for the live session, to send a notification in the free Telegram channel, also on Twitter and Facebook. And if you have not yet joined the free Telegram channel, make sure to do so. Just check out the links, below this stream, or if you're not watching live, check out the links below the video. Hopefully you can hear me well. I am going to double check that in a second, just to make sure. Okay, I think the mic is on. You guys let me know if there are any audio issues. I'll try to fix them, but I think we should be um, fine. Okay, nearly there. And by the way, once you join the free Telegram, you will have uh, my contact as well. So if you have any questions towards me, you can send me a private message as well. And this is what I say every time during the live sessions. You use that link to send me messages to, send over your setups, the trades that you're taking, so we can pull them on the screen and we can all have a look at them, see how we can potentially help you, right? I wouldn't do that if I'm not on live. So when I'm doing a live session twice a week, every Tuesday and every Thursday, you get the chance to do that. Even if you have, even if you're not in our mentorship program, I will still have a look at your setup, and possibly help you out, let you know what are my thoughts, and maybe work on your own strategy Obviously, if you're still struggling to find your edge in the market. So I think this is very helpful for, obviously for those of you who will appreciate something like this. I know I would have when I first started. I didn't know how to build up a strategy, but been trading for quite some time now, so I kind of know what is probably going to work. And even if I don't back test something, I can at least give you some guidance, give you some points to think about, maybe to add or remove from your strategy. And this is most likely going to help you out, bring you better results in the future. So, okay, we're going to do another 1 or 2 minutes, not more than a couple of minutes, and then we're going to start off. It's already nearly 8:05 London time. So we just opened the trading session. And like I said, we do have some quite interesting opportunities right here. I can already see pound dollar forming up that pullback, which I wanted to see. We don't quite have that here on euro dollar, but just stick around and give me another couple of minutes, and I'll explain what the setups are. Um, but after the news yesterday, I think we now have even better setups than we had before that, because we're essentially looking for the same market direction, or basically for price to continue being bullish, but now that is confirmed, and we actually have a strong confirmation with the CPI moving price in our direction. This is a pretty strong confirmation. So I actually think this is what could happen during the high impact news that we have on Wednesday next week as well. And obviously, if that happens and you manage to position yourself before the news and you're already running into profit, let's say you've moved your stops to break even, or maybe you've taken out a part of your position already, then you can let it run during the news next week. Whenever we got setups like this, it makes a lot of sense for us to try and find a good enough entry before that. And when you're looking at the higher time frames, you will get the chance to do that. Okay, I think we're ready to go now. Right. Got a couple of people watching, that's fine. So, what do we have? So, here is the news candle from yesterday. I'm looking at the 1 hour time frame right now here on euro dollar. So, this 1 hour candle is the news from yesterday. Now, I feel like I'm going to place a horizontal level right here. And I do not want to see price coming all the way down here at the beginning of the news and breaking below that level. As long as we stay above that level, I'm only going to be looking to take a buy trade, because that essentially means is if we come back all the way down here and we break below the moment of the news, that means price has reversed all that momentum that we had during CPI yesterday. And obviously, this happens, this is not going to be a good signal, right? It means that there isn't that much buying pressure than we think there is. But I am not expecting for this to happen. So what that means is I'm going to be looking for buying opportunities. Okay, now if you want to take any trades here on the majors, I would only suggest for you to look for buys. Same on euro dollar, same on pound dollar, and obviously same on gold. We're going to check out the charts right now. Okay, now if we manage to get a pullback down to around 1.1490, okay, and then we see that we have a rejection around that level, maybe some rejection wicks, maybe a reversal on the lower time frames, whatever it is, then this is basically what you're looking for. Okay, we already said that we've got a confirmation about the trend. We know price should continue higher. All we have to do is to find a good entry level. Now, even if we drop a little bit lower, like I said, as long as we're trading above the moment of the news, and if I have to place a horizontal level here as well, then you know that means we're talking about the level of 1.1425 roughly. Okay, so as long as we retest this area and we don't break below that, then we're good to go. We're good to continue looking for buying opportunities. Okay, now when it comes to targets, obviously I am expecting for price to break above this 4-hour high. So it really depends on what kind of trades you're going to be taking. But if, let's say, you are looking to place a conservative stop loss, then that means your stop should be below this low right here. Okay, maybe even all the way down here below this structure. So if, let's say, you're going to be using a stop loss around 1.1390 roughly, then that means obviously you're going to be leaving that position to run for a little bit longer. Now, if, let's say, you want to use an aggressive stop loss and you see that you have a reversal right here, an aggressive stop loss would be to place your stop loss just below that reversal. So if you're only going to give price action like 6, 7, 8, 10 pips of stop loss and then expect for price to give you like 100 pips in return, how often is this going to happen, right? So that means you're going to have to exit your position earlier because you basically want to take advantage of the momentum that's going to come with price, but then you don't want to hold your trade during the next pullback. So I'm not going to give you like target levels because I am expecting that this uptrend will continue long term. At some point, we're most likely going to see a pullback. So let's say, for example, once we come for a retest of this high, or basically right around 1.1550, and we've got around 35 pips of an upside move until then, well, this is a major high right here. So we're most likely going to see some sort of a reaction and then a continuation to the upside. Okay, so just keep that in mind. But overall, we're looking to take a buy trade, and the best place where we can, potentially find that entry is as price is retesting the breakout level. Okay, so down here is where you actually want to start looking for buying opportunities. Now, moving on to pound dollar, exactly the same thing here. The only difference is that we already have this pullback. Okay, so I do like this setup. Now we've just broken above this previous high, but at the same time it's just a stop loss hunt, right? Now we have a pullback, and where is the news candle here on pound dollar? Well, it's by this one. You can see that there was more volatility in this moment right here. So this is the 1-hour news candle from yesterday. And this is pretty much where we're going to be looking to take a buy trade. So as price is coming into this area, we want to wait for a reversal. And if you take a trade, again, you've got a couple of opportunities. First one, place your stop loss just below that reversal. But in this case, if you get taken out and then you get another reversal, that means you have to take another entry. And then the second choice is to use a conservative stop loss, again, either below the news candle or even better, let's say down here below this previous structure. So in this case, you need a bigger move to the upside in order to make the same profit maybe, but it's going to give you more peace of mind. Let me put it that way. So this is pretty much what we're looking for, buying opportunities on euro dollar and pound dollar. And I don't know what you think about those setups, but these are probably the best setups right now, of course together with gold. Okay, now I do have some other setups which I already shared in the premium Telegram channel about 2 hours ago. We're not going to go over those now, but when it comes to the instruments that we usually look at during the live session every Tuesday and Thursday, we're mainly looking at euro dollar, pound dollar, gold, and sometimes the yen cross pairs. But if you have to pick in between euro yen, pound yen, and euro dollar and pound dollar, right now the right choice would be the majors, okay, not the yen cross pairs. Now, if you want to trade dollar yen, this is different. Dollar yen is currently looking very, very well. But when it comes to euro yen and pound yen, I'm not even going to look at those because I'm not interested into taking any trades right now. Even if you look at the 4-hour time frame or even the 1-hour chart, it is completely different than what we have here on euro dollar and pound dollar. So watch out for continuation trades. You can also use the Fibonacci retracement tool to see where price currently is. And right now we're testing the 38.2. Okay, so it's about the first 15 minutes of the London session. We can see that we now have some bearish momentum, but as soon as we see a reversal right here, well, then this is going to be our signal to, possibly enter a trade. And I'm not trying to give you an entry signal or something like this, but I'm just sharing with you what is my point of view. And if you agree, if you like it, then obviously you can go for it. You can look for entries, right? So let's move on to pound dollar. Not pound dollar, gold. We just had a look at pound dollar. And by the way, let me just go back to euro dollar. If you have a look at the daily time frames as well, so on the daily chart, we can see a breakout of previous daily high. Yesterday's daily candle was very bullish as well. Okay, we can clearly see that. So this candle is most likely going to give even more momentum to this next day candle, which is basically today. Now, if you look at pound dollar, it doesn't look as strong, but what we have here is this bearish candle, and then the very next day is basically almost an engulfing candle, depending on, you may call it an engulfing if it engulfs the previous candle's wick as well. Whatever it is, we're looking at this setup, this pattern right here of those two candles, and this is a strong pattern. Okay, obviously we have more strength in that bullish candle. So are we going to see another bullish candle today? I think so. Um, we can potentially look for buying opportunity. This is all I'm trying to say. Here is the daily time frame on gold. Again, we just broken above with yesterday's candle. We've broken above the previous day daily candle, and you can already see this is the reaction that we have today. We already have some bullish price action. So going down to the 4-hour chart, we've got consecutive higher highs and higher lows, but right now we are quite high. Okay, so are we going to be looking for buying opportunities right now? It's probably best to wait for some pullback. Okay, and to be honest, I'm really not expecting a lot of pullback here. Um, you know, Gold was looking better than euro dollar and pound dollar even before the news, and it's looking better now, in my personal opinion. Now, with the help of the news, I wanted to see, because we were moving up, I wanted to see price forming a pullback and then giving us a reaction. So right here, we have a 61.8 fib level. 61.8% fib level. Okay, before that, we took out this liquidity right here because we had a lot of stop loss orders sitting below this equal structure. And overall, we are looking at a bullish trend. So pretty much a textbook setup. This is exactly what we have here. Now, not only that, but as soon as we tapped into that 61.8 down here, we wanted to see a strong reaction. So first of all, an engulfing bullish candle. Then we have a higher low. Then we have a higher high and another higher low. So we can already see this A, B, C, D pattern right here. Okay. Now, the next time price creates a higher low, we've got this strong momentum, which came with the help of the news, obviously. So this is why I'm saying that CPI confirmed our analysis very, very well. Again, for those of you who are in the premium Telegram channel, you guys already know all of that. You knew that before the news. So well done for those of you who managed to get into some trades in the previous days, and all you had to do was to just hold those trades at break even, right? Move your stops to break even. But this is what happens when you have the chance to enter a trade earlier, right? Because if you have news on Wednesday or Thursday or even Friday and you manage to get your entry on Monday or Tuesday, that means you're already into profit. So what you can do in this case is you move your stop loss to break even, okay? And hopefully the market has enough room to breathe during the news to not take you out, okay? And then you see that continuation, in this case, bullish continuation, right? So back to the 1 hour chart, it looks like we're now just taking out this previous high. And what that means is we could now see some relief in price. Now, if I'm gonna have to look for, for buying opportunities, I can immediately see this level right here. It's right in the midpoint of this bullish move. Why? Because I can see price has reacted multiple times to that level from above and from below. So I know this is a strong level. So if I have to be more specific, let me just find out which is the level that I'm talking about. So let's say roughly 3,345. Okay, so let's call it that, 3,345. Now, if we manage to see a pullback towards that level, okay, and then we see some rejection wicks or whatever kind of entry signal you use, I'm going to be expecting that we're most likely going to see bullish momentum to follow. So I'm going to try and enter a trade right around this level right here, okay? Because we're most likely going to get a move like this, which means if you get a move like this, you don't have a chance to enter a trade, right? Of course, I'm talking about if you are looking for proper positions, high risk to reward ratio positions, because a lot of traders will enter a long trade right now without placing a stop loss, just expecting for the market to continue higher. But you have to understand price action. And in this case, we have a lot of price action to work with. Like I said, we have this previous high and we also have this previous high. At either one of those points, we're going to see a little bit of a pullback as soon as price touches, one of those levels. So when we know this is going to happen, why enter a trade without a stop loss or with a large stop loss when we know that we can just wait a little bit longer, wait for price to drop down, give us a better entry price. We're going to be able to enter at a cheaper price, okay? And so automatically our stop loss is not going to be that far, which is going to give us more profit potential, right? So this is pretty much what I'm looking for here on euro dollar, pound dollar, and gold. Like I said, I do have some other setups which I feel like are pretty decent setups as well. But right now we're not gonna have a look at them. Um, Instead of that, I would suggest you guys send over some screenshots of your charts. You can save it as a link. You can just click right here, copy link, I think, and then or open it, image in new tab, and then you can just send me the link right here. Copy link, put it in the chat box here, on the in the chat box here, on the stream, and I'll have a look at them. Or just let me know what other instruments do you look at, and do you actually trade one of those instruments that I just went through. I can imagine you do if you especially if this is not your first time looking at the watching the live sessions, because this is pretty much what I'm looking at every single time during those live sessions. And don't forget, the next one is going to be on Thursday. Oh, excuse me, it is Thursday today. The next one is going to be on Tuesday next week. Um, but tomorrow, we're going to announce the winner of this week's giveaway for the live sessions. Okay, so don't forget. That's why I'm trying to, push you to leave some comments. We had a winner last week, and this dude is already in our premium Telegram channel. Um, so we're gonna add another one, and you can become a member completely for free for a full month. And all the information that you see during the live sessions, okay, and even more, you're gonna receive in the premium Telegram channel earlier than everybody. So for example, everything that I'm sharing with you right now, I already shared 2 hours ago. So let's see what kind of news we have next week. All right, Bank of Japan's interest rate decision on Tuesday. So for those of you who are trading yen pairs, keep that in mind. And then we've got the press conference, obviously, as well. Um, CPI for the British pound on Wednesday. Obviously, Fed interest rate decision. Probably the most important news for next week is going to be Fed interest rate decision, and this is going to be on Wednesday, June 18th. Okay, so make sure to mark this out. By the way, a good tip for those of you who always forget to, double check the economy calendar during the week, and you forget when you have news coming out, and then you're surprised when you're looking at the chart. What you can do is you basically see that on 18th of June at 9 p.m. Well, this is my local time, but whatever your local time is, you've got Fed interest rate decision. Um, and then obviously half an hour later, you've got FOMC press conference. What you can do is you can grab the vertical line too, okay, vertical line, and then you go and find right here, down here on TradingView, where it shows you the date and the hour. You can basically find the exact date and hour when the news are coming out, and then you just place a vertical level. So this is going to remind you that, at this point in time, you have news coming out. Okay, Fed interest rate decision. So this is going to be very important. I can't wait for Wednesday next week to see how price action will develop around, and of course what kind of results we're gonna get because we've got the previous numbers, so we'll see how it goes. And then on Thursday, GDP for the New Zealand dollar. I don't really trade the New Zealand dollar. I don't trade the Swiss franc either. Um, but then on Thursday, okay, we've got day off for the US market. However, we've got Bank of England's interest rate decision, and then on Friday, retail sales. Not that much of a movement um, right here on Friday, but Wednesday and Thursday are going to be quite busy. Um, so I do like whenever we got weeks like this, and and we have news, because this is essentially what pushes price, right? Otherwise, if we're trading just sideways without really doing much, we don't actually get to have those good trading opportunities. And you can clearly see that with the help of the news yesterday. This is when we saw that momentum, right? So if you are in a trade before that momentum, this is good because it obviously helps you to reach your take profit. Of course, whenever the news are on your side, or more like whenever you are on the right side of the market, right? But if you don't have a trade and you don't want to trade while price action is choppy and it's trading sideways, well, that momentum is going to, move things a little bit. So you now have a new setup. That's why I'm saying it's important to have news. When I first started, because I didn't know what to do during news and in which direction the market is going to go, I didn't like news. I wanted to have a week without a single high impact news, and that would be the only time when I'm a little bit more confident in my trades, even though I didn't know basically nothing, right? And right now, a lot of people think that learning how to trade news is basically knowing in which direction the market is going to go, but you never know that. Sometimes you may have positive numbers for the US dollar, for example, all right, for the US economy, and at the same time you see that the dollar is bearish. Okay, so the thing is not that you should know in which direction the market is going to go, it's just knowing how to react to whatever the market gives you. Okay, so let's say you were expecting a bearish move yesterday. All right, you do not enter a trade, you just wait for the news, but you know that price is supposed to go bearish. Now, what happens next is you have this bullish momentum right here. Okay, so obviously now you have to adjust your analysis and decide whether price will actually continue higher or will it reverse. But if, let's say, you were expecting a bullish continuation, just like we did, and then the market confirms your idea, my phone is somewhere, and then the market confirms your idea, well, now you know what to do. Because if you are expecting a bullish move, you'll be like, all right, I want to see price breaking above this high, and then I'm going to wait for a pullback, and then I'm going to enter a trade. And when things are going the way you plan them, it's very easy to take a trade and also to stick to that trade. Because obviously, if you don't have enough experience, you can enter a trade, and it doesn't matter if your trade is uh, in profit or is going against you, and you're now losing money. It doesn't matter which way it goes. If you're, you know, not experienced enough, you don't know whether you should keep that trade open. Because when you're making profit, it's very easy to say, all right, that's enough. I'm going to close the trade and I'm going to look for another one. Okay. But this way, you can't really take advantage of the full potential of that trade that you've taken. And then vice versa, if the trade is going against you, you're now hoping that it's going to reverse, but it keeps pushing down. You're in a floating loss more than what you could have afforded to lose on that trade. And now you don't know whether you should close that trade. You know that if you accept the loss, it's more than, like I said, more than you're happy to take. So, it becomes hard to close the trade. But at the same time, it's very difficult to keep it open because you see the market keep sinking. Okay. I know what a lot of you guys are going through. Obviously, I've been through the same things, but the thing is to react accordingly. You must have a plan. If the market goes this way, then I'm going to do this. If it goes this way, then I'm going to react this way. Okay, you must have a plan and obviously follow that plan as well. Just like I have a plan to wait for a pullback on gold, and so far this is exactly what's going on. Now a lot of people again as well. I mean, this is something else. If let's say you know that the market is bullish, you're looking for buying opportunities only, and just like I am right now, let's say looking at the 1 hour chart, and I want to see price down here around 3,345, and I'm pretty confident that we're most likely going to reach that level before we then reverse and continue higher. However, a lot of people, just because they struggle with patience, what they're going to do in this case is they're going to drop down to a 5 minute time frame, and now you have all this space to the downside. So now you could get another plan. Let's say price breaks below that, comes back for a retest. Next time the price creates a lower high, I'm going to enter the trade and I'm going to short it down to around 3,345. And I'm not saying this is wrong, but you must be really good at trading to do that, because you're essentially trading in both directions. You're trading with the trend and you're trying to trade the pullbacks as well. And this is something very difficult to do, right? Now, again, I'm not saying it's wrong, but if this is your strategy, then you must have a perfect money management and risk management plan, because you must know at any given point how much you're risking for this move, how much you're risking for a move in the opposite direction. Okay, how much you can lose. You must be able to manage your risk all the time and manage your trades very, very well. Because if let's say you enter a short trade, price goes in your favor, you're expecting 3,345, but then you see that this reversal happens, let's say at 3,355. Now, because you are in an uptrend, you should know that maybe price is reversing. It's already giving you a higher low, higher than this previous one. Okay, maybe it's not going to come all the way down. So what you have to do is close that short trade and then look for entries to the upside. But then what happens if price actually creates another lower high and continues to the down, right? So these are all things that you must take keep in mind, take into consideration whenever you're building your trading plan. And the more stuff you got to do around your trading plan while you are in a trade and before you enter a trade, the more things you have to do, the more complicated your trading plan is, the harder it is to follow it. So stick to the basics. As you can see, what I'm talking about here, I'm talking about break and retest, right? Everybody's learning about break and retest in maybe in their first month when they start learning about trading. But basics and simplicity works. Okay? You don't have to have a very complicated strategy. Trust me. All you gotta do is just, look at key levels, wait for pullbacks, look at trends, work around the news, and you're gonna be totally fine. People have to learn before touch the chart. Yeah, I think so. I think that's right. That's correct. Or at least open up a demo account when you're learning and, try and trade on demo. But yeah, okay. I do like what I see here on gold. We also have, we don't yet have that much of a pullback on euro dollar, but we've already got that pullback on pound dollar. Okay, so it's been already half an hour since the beginning of the session. We can see some momentum here in pound dollar. So we're going to leave it as it is right now. I don't yet have an entry. Um, we're about to retest this previous low. Maybe if we take it out by a little bit and then we see that reversal, this is going to be a good enough setup for me to potentially look for trades. hopefully we see euro dollar um, coming a little bit lower before it shoots back to the upside. So we've already taken out this previous structure here on gold. Remember, we're looking for rejection wicks. So if, let's say, because we still got about 5 minutes, even more than 5 minutes for this candle, if we see a rejection wick and this 15-minute candle closes, let's say, up here, well, then this is going to be a good enough signal that we could potentially see that next move forming up. Now, obviously, we've had some bullish price action here on the yen cross pairs lately, but then you can see, you know, as soon as we tested this previous high up here, we had a rejection here on pound yen. Now, pound yen obviously has more bearish momentum right now as we speak, because we can clearly see that here on pound dollar as well. So it's probably not the one that we should be looking at, but if you look at euro yen, we've been steadily climbing. So daily time frame suggests that we are pretty much testing this previous high, okay, and we've just taken out this previous high at 165.20. So I'm going to delete that right now. But at this level up here, it's going to be very difficult for us to, let's say, enter a long trade and expect for price to easily break above this daily high. Instead of that, we're most likely going to, you know, hover around this level for a bit longer, maybe form some range or at least a little bit of a pullback. But you know, I just don't have a good enough entry here or a setup on the yen cross pairs. All right, strong push on pound dollar. We may be heading towards 1.35, 35.10, something like this, where we've got the 61.8 level. And then if you look at gold, we are now testing this breakout level. Now, I don't like that we have such a strong momentum, but we're going to be looking at the 1 hour time frame. If we leave some rejection wicks right here, then we can potentially expect for price to give us that reversal. You know, ideally, I wanted to see price, you know, kind of coming down towards this level a little bit slower. I didn't want to see a single candle like this, so that kind of puts me off. But you know, we can still work around it. It really depends on what are the next candles going to be like. It's only euro dollar that's not giving up. All right, we'll see how it goes. All right, strong rejection here for pound dollar around 1.3590. Okay, you see every time we come near this level, we've got a really strong rejection price going back to the downside immediately. Right here, right here, and it looks like we're looking at the same thing right now. But at the same time, we also have higher lows every time, right? So we're kind of closing into this pattern right here. Nevertheless, I'm still expecting that eventually the breakout is going to be to the upside. May take a little bit longer, but you know, this is what I'm going to be looking for. Okay, since you guys don't have any questions, as I can see, I may be ending the session soon. And if I do, obviously, just look at the 1 hour candles, see how they close, see what happens after them. You know, uh, I did tell you what are the setups that I'm looking at. The idea still remains the same, even though we have some strong bearish momentum here on pound dollar and on gold, of course. But it only means that we're not going to rush with our entries. We're actually going to wait for further confirmation. And this is the right thing to do every time you're unsure about a trade, okay? But as long as we're trading above the, you know, the moment of the news, which is down here around 1.3490 for pound dollar, as long as we trade above this level, Then what you can do is you can mark out the news candle, the 1 hour news candle from CPI yesterday, and as long as price doesn't break below that, you're gonna be fine. You're looking for buying opportunities, and especially if you have, because if you have a reversal now, then most likely that reversal is gonna come with the same momentum. Okay, it's gonna be very important where you find that entry. We are already kind of slowing down here on gold, as soon as we tapped into this support level right here. So let's see how it goes. Now, if you have any questions, obviously, um, during the live session was the best time to ask your questions in the chat box. None of you guys did, so I guess everything is clear. I'm happy about that. But obviously, you can find my contact in the free Telegram channel. I leave a button, private message or direct message under each one of the posts. So this is where you can find me. And don't forget to join the free Telegram channel. You're gonna get notified every time I do one of those live sessions, which means every Tuesday and every Thursday as well. Not only that, but if we do more giveaways or promotions or discount codes and anything like this, you're gonna get notified in the free Telegram channel. Yeah, sure, go on, Mikhail. For those of you who don't know what VTS is, this is the volatility trading system, and it's basically an automated bot that you set up the parameters, you tell the bot how to enter positions, where to enter those positions, when to enter those positions, and it will do it automatically for you uh, by spreading out your risk. This is pretty much what Michal is asking about. But yeah, sure, go on. What is your question? You know what? Let me pull up the page so all of you guys can see. I think I've showed it before in the live sessions. Most definitely I have. Um, but you can go over to trendlineforex.com and then click on that volatility trading button. And then you can find out more about um, what this tool is all about, how it works. And by the way, on our website right here, trendlineforex.com, you can also go to services, advanced courses, okay? And it's a completely free course, volatility trading system. All you gotta do is to sign up on our website, and then you get full access to the volatility trading system course. This is where you're going to learn every single thing about the expert advisor, how it works, and how to actually use it. So your question is, can it be applied on all currency pairs? Yes, mostly currency pairs. So golds, majors, cross pairs. We have shown results on Euro Aussie. We have shown results on dollar yen, I believe. Um, Mostly on gold. We do have members using it on Bitcoin as well, but you got to be very careful with calculating your positions there. But obviously, with the volatility expert advisor, you also get, two more tools. One of them is managing a trades manager tool. So this is another expert advisor that you get together with the volatility expert advisor, and this tool allows you to manage a large number of positions at the same time. So let's say if you have 300, 400 open positions and you want to close all of those trades, you can actually do that on MetaTrader itself. But let's say you want to move the stop loss on all of those trades to a specific level. Now, if you got to do it manually, it's obviously going to take you a lot of time, so it's pointless. So that's why you get our trades manager too, which is which comes in a bundle with the expert advisor, and with a click of one button you can move the stop loss, or you can open, or you can close, or you can do whatever you like with a large number of positions without wasting precious time. So yes, you can use it on, it can be applied on all currency pairs, but most importantly, it can be applied with any strategy. It doesn't matter if you are more aggressive or more conservative trader. It doesn't matter if you're looking for, long-term moves, or you're just looking to get in and out of the market quickly. The volatility expert advisor can definitely help you with all of that. And by the way, Mikhail, we have another meeting about the VTS next week. I think we don't have any spots left, so hopefully you manage to get your spot if you have the chance to come over to Sofia. But if not, then there's going to be another date to be announced, pretty soon. But I think it's going to be probably next month. I'm not sure. But anyways, I have a full webinar on how the volatility expert advisor works is right here on my channel, Trendline Forex Global. So you can check it out. It's about a 40 to 50-minute long video, and I'm explaining how this expert advisor works. And also my most recent videos on YouTube, this is where you can see results of, how the expert advisor actually performs. But yeah, so that's pretty much all, guys. I'll see you in the next live session, which is going to be on Tuesday. Make sure to subscribe to this channel, join the free Telegram channel as well, and follow us on social media. All of the links that you need are down below this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.